In this video, you learned the #1 exercise for finger dexterity on guitar. Now, a common misconception is that you need to move your fingers fast to play guitar. However, it's got more to do with each individual finger movement and how well you can move your fingers independently of the others. This is the key to playing guitar, not so much how fast you can move your fingers. Hi, this is Simon Candy from Acoustic Guitar Lessons Online.net, and in this lesson I'm going to show you 3 levels of finger dexterity that will make guitar much easier for you to play. In fact, if you practice these exercises in the way that I show you today, for just 5 to 10 minutes a day, you will see significant improvements in your playing within a week. Now, these exercises are challenging at first, of course, because we want to see improvement, right? But the great thing is that they get easier and you can practice them anywhere, anytime without a guitar in your hands. And I will show you how to do that later in this video. But first, I'm going to show you the first level of this finger dexterity exercise that will get your fingers moving independently of each other, making things like chords and single note melody lines so much easier to play. Then I will show you 2 more levels of the exercise that will get your fingers moving even better on the guitar, making things easier again to play. So let's get to it. So what you're going to do here is you're going to take your first finger and put it on the 3rd string at the 5th fret. But the important thing to note here is you're not pushing down on the fret at all. You are literally just touching the string. And then you're going to put your 2nd finger over the 6th fret, 3rd over the 7th, and your pinky over the 8th. So they're side by side in consecutive frets there, but they're only just touching the string. I'm not pushing them down at all. An important part of this exercise is to keep your arm and your fingers nice and relaxed. That's half the battle. Okay, so you've got the fingers side by side. If you find that difficult with that spreading of the fingers there in that position, you could do this at the 7th fret or maybe the 8th or even 9th fret. I probably wouldn't go higher than that, but feel free to move it around a little bit. I'm going to do it at the 5th fret. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep the 4 fingers on the 3rd string here, and you're going to start with the index finger. And the idea is to take the index finger whilst the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers remain on the 3rd string, and you're going to take it and move it between the bottom and the top string. Okay, so I'm taking my my index finger, and I'm going from the bottom to the top and back again, back and forth. But the trick is that moving individually or independently, I should say, of the other 3 fingers, right? They're not moving at all. The other thing is don't move your arm either. Don't do this where you go, and you got big arm movements as you go from the bottom to the top string. Everything is stationary here, and it's just your finger moving from top to bottom. Okay, then after doing that a little bit, it's the 2nd finger, the middle fingers go. So it's going to do the same thing, while now the 1st, 3rd, and 4th fingers remain on the 3rd string. Very relaxed, arm not moving at all, just back and forth like so. Okay. Then, now this is where it could get a little trickier. The 3rd and 4th fingers share a tendon. This is why it's harder to move these fingers independently of each other. So the 3rd finger might be a little trickier, but it's going to do the same thing. While the 1st, 2nd, and 4th fingers now stay on the 3rd string, nice and relaxed, it's the 3rd finger that's going to go back and forth from the bottom to the top, to the bottom, to the top. Now you might find, and this is perfectly fine, that you need to take your hand and you need to actually force it, if you like, to go between the top and bottom strings. This is really all about your brain. It's getting your brain to send the right signals to the right finger to move while the others stay. Okay, this is the important part here. So if you actually physically have to take your picking hand here, your other hand, and move that finger, then do so until you can start to do it without the other fingers moving. It really takes a bit of focus, so don't be discouraged if this is difficult to do at first. And then the pinky, same deal, and it might also be any finger that's going to be tricky. Just literally take and force it okay, until you can do it on its own. Again, you'll feel your tendons and so forth moving as you do this, but you don't want your arm or your elbow or anything like that moving. You just want individual finger movement. And as you can probably see, when you're making chord changes, for example, these fingers are going all over the place, right? You've got multiple fingers going all different directions. They've got to be moving independently of each other. So it's not so much, can I do this fast? It's more about, can my fingers move? They've got to have a mind of their own, okay? They've got to be able to do their own thing all at the same time. So you can probably already see how this is starting to build that skill. It's so important. So really take the time to get this down. This is also good for getting your hand to be in the right position on the fretboard. So many times I see people with the thumb over the top or the thumb shooting out to the side, and this puts the hand at all awkward angles to the fretboard and makes it really hard to play guitar and increases the tension and all sorts of things. Now sometimes, yes, when you're bending notes, you're going to put your thumb over the top or certain chords and things like that. But for the most part, the thumb is on the middle, pointing to the roof, and this will allow your fingers to get in position to do this exercise that I am taking you through today. Okay, so this is what you want to do. This is level 1, and this alone will do wonders for your fingers. And if you find it difficult, then be excited, because you've just, found a little spot that you can really improve quite quickly. Because right now, if you find it hard to move that third finger, for example, I bet if you do this 5 minutes a day, within a week, you're going to be moving that finger very easily, and it's going to show when you're making chord changes and all sorts of things. Okay, so that is the first level of our finger dexterity exercise. Now make sure you breathe, I should have said this, breathe nice and relaxed and naturally when you're doing this. Don't hold your breath, don't breathe irregularly. Relaxation, that is the key here. The more relaxed you are, the more efficiently, the more easily, the more fluently you will move your fingers. Now let's step it up a little bit here. This time we're going to take 2 fingers at a time and move them together. Okay, this will be a little trickier, so you might not do this one immediately. Bookmark it for maybe in a week's time if needed. But the idea is that you take 2 fingers, so I'm going to take the first and third, and you move them from top to bottom together, because there's times when you're going to need to move 2 fingers at a time in some sort of formation on the guitar, chord changes, etc. So you're moving first and third back and forth between the top and bottom strings. Or I could take first and second fingers next to each other there, and move them between the top and bottom strings. Or I could take the second and third fingers and do the same thing between the top and bottom strings there. Or I could take the third and the fourth and move them between the top and bottom strings. Now this will be a little bit trickier simply because the third and fourth fingers share that tendon, and all the while you want your arm and your elbow and shoulder nice and relaxed, not moving. It's all stemming from the base of the finger, top to bottom. We could take, this one's quite tricky, I'm gonna have to think about this one myself. Once you get it going, it's okay, but it's the middle and pinky. I really had to think about that one. Okay, so I will even benefit from these exercises too, and I still do them. Okay, second and fourth, back and forth. Okay, that one's quite tricky, but the idea is to take 2 fingers, any combination of 2 fingers, and go through the same exercise, keeping an eye on the same things, nice and relaxed, even breathing, natural breathing, no movement in the arm, and focusing on and getting those fingers to move. Again, you might need to get your right hand or your left, depending how you're playing guitar, in to actually force those fingers to move. And the third level, let's really kick it up a notch here now. We're going to continue with 2 fingers at a time. However, they're going to alternate between the top and bottom strings, right? So contrary motion here. First and second fingers alternating between the top and the bottom strings, keeping the hand in position, keeping the arm nice and still, naturally breathing nice and relaxed, back and forth. And then as you can imagine, we can do it with different finger movements. Okay, 2 and 3 there. We could do 1 and 3. Okay, top to bottom. Again, really focus here. It's really about engaging your brain with your fingers. That's what guitar practice is all about, engaging your brain with the fingers, and this is a great exercise that demonstrates that. The tricky one here would be 2 and 4, back and forth between the top and the bottom strings. Okay, or any combination. We could do 3 and 4 there. Okay, back and forth, quite tricky that one as well. Okay, but you can see how all these little moves we're doing here are reflected in the chord shapes that you play. So hopefully this demonstrates that, yeah, you need to move your fingers, but you don't actually really need to move them that fast. In fact, anybody, doesn't matter if they play an instrument or not, if you get someone who's never played an instrument before, they can move their fingers fast enough. It's about, part of it, not all of it, but part of it is about what we're talking about here today, the individual or the independent movement of each finger. That's the key to playing nice, clean, fluent guitar. Now, as I said earlier in the video, we can do any of these exercises without a guitar. All you need to do is take your arm, that's the guitar neck, you've got your thumb on the back as it should be, pointing to the ceiling, you've got your fingers side by side around about the middle of your arm here if you like, and then you can simply go through and do any of these exercises that we just did, whether it's moving individual fingers at a time or it's moving 2 fingers at a time. Any of them will work. All you do is just grab, you could grab a ruler if you wanted, it doesn't matter, but you've always got your arm, right? So you get your arm there, your fingers side by side, and any of the exercises I just showed you, you're just going top to bottom. Just imagine you've got your strings there. That's doing as much work for your fingers and your playing as it is when you're on the actual guitar, because it's just getting the fingers to move independently. It doesn't matter if they, there's no strings there or fretboard, okay? As long as it's something that's, similar to a fretboard, I guess. Okay, so this means this is very accessible, this exercise. You can practice it anywhere. You're sitting on public transport, you've got a half hour to get to wherever you're going, or you can take 5 or 10 minutes to do these exercises, or anywhere at all you can do this. If you would like help with your finger picking, the kind of help that gets you results in the most direct, efficient, fun way possible, then check out the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course, a complete system for fingerpicking acoustic guitar, so simple even a beginner can learn it. I've carefully designed this course to do all the heavy lifting for you, as far as knowing exactly what to do, how to do it, and when to do it in regard to mastering the art of fingerpicking guitar. All you have to do is follow the pathway I've laid out for you. In the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course, you will learn and master all the key concepts, methods, strategies, and techniques needed for fingerpicking, so you'll never put your guitar down in frustration again, thinking, how the hell do I do this? You will also discover the exact order in which to do things, avoiding the all too common mistakes most people make when learning to fingerpick guitar, saving you precious time and frustration. Have your hand held every step of the way with the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course. It will take you from wherever you are at right now with your fingerpicking to where you would like to be, enjoying every part of the process along the way. So click the link in the description below the video and check out the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course. Let me know in the comments below this video what acoustic guitar topics you'd like to see covered in future videos. I love to hear from you, so don't be shy, drop a comment, I'll do my best to reply to you. If you like this video, then hit that like button, and if you like the videos overall, then consider subscribing to the channel. Now, you may think you're subscribed to the channel, however, my YouTube analytics says otherwise. It tells me 80% or more of people who watch these videos are not subscribers. You might think you are because my videos pop up in your feed, but it's not the same thing. So if you like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you hit the all-important notification bell button. That way YouTube will tell you when I've released a new video, which is every single week. This is Simon Candy from AcousticGuitarLessonsOnline.net. As always, thank you so much for being here. I really, really do appreciate your time. And of course, I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.